Hey guys and gals, now we're here from Drakewing Gaming to City on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you for a Let's Play episode of Roses in the Flames. So y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go! Alright, how did this come to be? As we turned into another hallway, a voice bellowed from the other corridor we just passed. Hold it right there! Another dragon walked over to us. Hi, I'm Deputy Marshal Vivian with the Federal Draconic Investigation Agency. And this is my prisoner. I can take it from here. Is she nicer than Magma? I hope so. The dragon started to pull me away. Wait, where are you going with my prisoner? The tan dragon, Vivian, seemed to be ignoring Magma. It's fine. You aren't any trouble until you're proven guilty, okay? I said nothing, but Magma seemed to be irritated. And that made me like the tan dragon a little bit more. At least she sounded like she cared for her job. I need you to come with me, please. I can take it from here. I promise nobody's going to hurt you, okay? You have the right to a fair trial just like every other dragon here. Vivian kept a smile on her face as if she were mocking Magma. This is my prisoner. I'm escorting the spy down to the... Everything is going to be fine, okay? Just as the tan dragon was going to take me away again, Magma stood in her way. And just where do you think you're going? I was told directly by my superiors to take the prisoner over to the courtroom. You are not allowed to take this prisoner. I'll have the pleasure of doing it myself. New orders. I was told by Judge Bennett himself to bring it over instead. He doesn't trust you to keep the prisoner in one piece. You've been given orders and now you receive new ones. I will take this case. Previous handling of the prisoner has proven to be inadequate. A change to a more professional procedure is required. I am sure a well-mannered police officer would agree. Step aside, now. You are interfering with my prisoner now, and that is going against the judge's order. If you persist, I will have you arrested. Do I make myself clear? As I've said, you can do whatever you like after the trial. Now, sit down in the courtroom and stop whining. And what is the difference anyway? You can't stand a few hours away from an interesting specimen such as this whom you've deemed a spy without any tangible evidence? I know you're hiding something. This thing or whatever it is will lead us to the exterminators. Just wait until that thing is exposed for what it truly is. Could you please leave, officer? I've been more than respectful. Let me do my job and you do yours. Just wait until it sees its chance to kill one of us. Upon hearing this, Magma realized there was nothing else left for her to do. Magma hissed at me and the other officer and left. Come with me. I'm not going to harm you, okay? Just follow my lead. We walked down several hallways, and Vivian informed me that she was taking me to the courtroom where I would stand trial. Deputy Marshal Vivian opened a door that led to a huge room which appeared to be a courtroom. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. What? Don't go! Wait! Something was telling me that this dragon wasn't like any I've encountered so far. Well, maybe except Snowy, but she betrayed me by allowing Magma to subdue me. I'm sorry, I have to go now. You'll be appointed an attorney. Everyone else will be here in a few minutes. Oh, this is a very fast court proceeding. A moment after Vivian left, I saw one dragon enter the courtroom, and it looked at me with a weird look on its face. Then another dragon appeared, and then another, until there were 3 dragons on both sides of the courtroom. I heard one of them muttering, "Wait until the judge gets here." About a minute later, a slender-looking yellow dragon appeared. It had no wings on its back. It looked like a giant salamander to me. I think I'm even bigger than that dragon. Where is Gwendolyn? She is needed in this courtroom. I remembered to say Your Honor to a judge. Your Honor. It was clear I was speaking to the judge. I heard a few dragons murmuring. Your Honor. I like that. That's a new one for me. Who is Gwendolyn? I spoke softly. The judge laughed. Well, she's right behind you. I turned around and I saw a green-looking dragon with dark markings on its face walking by the door. Oh, she's pretty. I apologize for being late, Judge. I was held up at my office. Oh, she's my attorney? Okay. A dragon attorney. Understood. Please take your usual spot on the floor. I will initiate the trial. I expect this to be a short case. No changes to the procedure will be made, despite the uncommon defendant. You are being witnessed by myself as Judge Bennett and the counsel. You are advised that you have the right to remain silent. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Your attorney has been appointed to you. Gwendolyn, please proceed. Judge. From now on, you may address me as Your Honor. Oh my god. Yes, Your Honor. Gwendolyn slightly shook her head in disbelief. You are being brought on charges that you are a spy. Do you proclaim yourself as innocent? Yes, Your Honor. I plead innocent. Let it be on the record the defendant proclaims themselves as innocent. If they should be found guilty at any time, they may receive a harsh punishment for perjury. Are you sure you want to plead innocent? Yes, Your Honor. I still retain my position as being innocent. I swallowed nervously and felt my legs beginning to quiver uncontrollably. How could this not be a dream? How can all this be real? Your Honor, if I may, what about the defendant's story? The defendant, you may proceed. What is your story? Everyone remain quiet. I woke up in my bedroom. I contemplated, and this is what I told Officer Magma, by the way, and I thought about playing video games or going to hang out with friends. I thought I was being a homebody for the past few weeks, so I decided to go on a nature walk instead. I explained to Officer Magma I live in a town called Roseland. There was a long moment of silence. So, first I went on a walk in the woods, and along the way I realized I didn't bring enough water with me, so I headed deeper into the woods so I could find a stream or another source of water. Eventually I found a lake, or maybe it was a pond, I don't know. But it was warm outside, so I decided to go for a swim. I walked into the water, and a moment later I felt as if the water was holding me down somehow, and when I wanted to resurface I couldn't. Now it all happened for only a moment. The feeling of being trapped was terrifying. The entire ordeal, it felt supernatural. Objection, one of the council members yelled. It's impossible. How could this be admitted as feasible evidence? A body of water can't do that. This is ridiculous. Enough of this story. Sustained. May you please explain what you mean by being underwater against your will, but nothing seemed to be grabbing you. How is that possible? I can't explain how it happened. It just happened, and when I resurfaced, I ran into Snowy several minutes after I resurfaced. That's when she found me. Granted, Snowy did leave a statement where you seemingly just came up out of nowhere. It surely is an interesting story. Proceed. Snowy met me, and while I thought she was going to attack me, she spoke to me instead. As we were walking, and much to my surprise, she didn't hurt me. We were speaking for maybe 10 minutes or so when this horrible roar erupted from the air and it shook the ground. Snowy said it was an exterminator. Your Honor, if I may add to the story that supposes that the defendant was a spy, do you think they could have alerted the nearby exterminator to kill her? It's possible, but the defendant could have waited for another chance to discover what our supply counts are, or where our units may be. Granted, that could be possible, but if we were to attribute the size of the defendant, I read in Officer Magma's statement that she wrote down about the defendant's compliance when she told the defendant to follow her and Snowy without a struggle. If the defendant was truly a spy, and given the area near southwestern Drakenshire, you might think the defendant could have signaled an exterminator squad from the open valley, I refuse to believe the defendant is a spy. The evidence support the defendant is innocent. If you aren't a spy for the exterminators, then what are you? Where did you come from? Human. I'm a human. All across the room, bold comments were hurled around for everyone to hear. That is a blatant lie! The humans were wiped out ages ago! A human? Here? Impossible! But that's impossible! The humans were wiped out thousands of years ago! One council member reached over to the judge and said, We must warn Mythaldrian. Even I have a hard time believing such a thing. It looked like the judge had a hard time believing such a thing. It came as a surprise to everyone in the room. If you are a human, then prove it to us. To make it easier, tell us everything you know about human civilization. That was all up to me to see if I was really paying attention in geography and history class. We are on a planet called Earth, and Earth is made up of 7 different continents. Those continents are known as Europe, Asia, Northern and Southern America. I heard several dragons gasp. I'm extremely hesitant to endorse the claim that humans are a decent and kind species. I would prefer civilized as a more objective and concise term. Humans came from either evolution or some other form of creation. We're also a decent and kind species. People would sometimes give money to the poor, and we interact with each other. We watch TV, we eat snacks, and play video games. Second, y'all. Water time. Alright, guys and gals, and we are back. Let's jump back into it, shall we? Okay. We had what we call the internet, and we had cars for driving around and books to read. We also had climate change. Your Honor, among the many books I have read, I have studied the subjects on humans. I don't think the defendant would know so much about this only to just be a spy. Even the exterminators don't know this much. Well then, I suppose we will have to find out what our defendant does. I want it on watch each and every day. Your Honor, does this mean the defendant is not guilty? I held my breath. I would like to take a 5-minute recess. The counsel emptied the floor, and Gwendolyn, I think her name was, left to go outside in the hallway to wait upon the decision. I could hear paper rustling from the judge's chair. We find the defendant not guilty. However, there are restrictions I will establish right now. I want it on watch every single hour of the day. I want it assigned to stay at Officer Magma's place of residence. If you should try anything, we will apply deadly force against you. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Honor. I gasped shakily. After this, the courtroom exploded with loud voices that were either complaining that the verdict was unfair or righteous. Either way, I was very worried that I was assigned to live in a house with a dragon who hates me. Order! Order! This court is still in session. Thank you, Your Honor. The defendant may not be touched on the penalty of being arrested. Meanwhile, we will conduct an investigation seeing if you are what you say you are. You may go, but you will report it strictly to Officer Magma and tell her these instructions I have laid out for you. Step up here to my chair. I walked over to the judge, and he handed me a slip of paper. I opened it and read the part where Officer Magma was going to be my guardian. The judge sent me away afterwards along with an escort out of the courtroom. And one more thing before you go. I will ensure that the entire city knows of your existence. I believe it is only fair they know, but you will be under protection. Thank you again, Your Honor. Can I stay with the other dragon, please? I left the courtroom feeling immensely relieved. At least I was safe from persecution. Then it dawned on me that I might be stuck in this strange place forever. Here forever? I tried to stay away from the dragons who were looking at me from the opposite side of the hallway. I looked away, feeling somewhat ashamed because now I'm the one who feels different. What purpose was I brought here for? I turned and pressed my head up against the wall. I looked above me at a clock and it was past noon. My trial lasted about 20 minutes. Judge Bennett told me I needed to see Magma. I dug into my pocket and felt for the paper that Judge Bennett signed off, ordering Magma to be my guardian. Magma? My guardian? That's the last thing I would have wanted. I don't want to see Magma. I stared at the piece of paper. She's mean, she's cruel, she's obtuse. Suddenly I heard someone coming up from behind me. A dragon, of course. I'd have to get used to that now. It was Gwendolyn. I have to say, I'm quite intrigued to have the opportunity to defend someone who isn't a dragon. Yeah, You don't have to be afraid of anybody. Most dragons in town are civil and pleasant to be around. And you don't have anything to worry about. We're not a violent society for the most part. You're safe here. I heard about a little quarrel you had with Officer Magma earlier. I know she can be rough around the edges, but you must forgive her actions. Magma is one of those types who's extremely dedicated to her job and doesn't like anyone impeding her ability to act. You know what I'm saying? Did that tan-looking dragon tell you that, or did someone else? It was in fact Marshal Vivian told me there was an issue earlier with a prisoner being transferred, and Magma didn't like the fact of leaving you unattended. The story goes a bit farther back than that. Well, color me intrigued. You'll have to tell me that sometime. Well, I'm late for another meeting. Perhaps we can meet again sometime? Sure, maybe later. It was nice meeting you. Zoop! Gwendolyn left, and I was on my own again. I looked for signs pointing to where the exit might be. The courthouse was one long maze. I hope Magma didn't abandon me here. I'd rather take Magma than have no sense of direction. Alright, y'all, I'm actually going to pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!